All right, time for activity 4. So now what we're going to do is create just a note-taking template. So that way we can organize and help students take notes on whatever we're trying to have them do. And this is just going to be an easy way we can create this. And this could be printable if you want to, but it doesn't have to be. It can be digital and they can write directly on it. And so now let's go to it. All right, so this is a relatively simple graphic organizer for note-taking. We're going to use kind of the same thing that the Cornell Notes was showing earlier. So really, I like to use tables, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go to Insert, and then go to a table. And the way the notes are, let's just start out with 2. And I don't know if you noticed, but this does look like by 8.5 by 11. So I set it up that way, but if you needed to change it to be different, remember, go to File, Page Setup, and then you can set it up however you wish. Maybe you want to reverse it and do it kind of a landscape, so do 11 by 8.5. All right, so now we have our little categories. So usually with Cornell Notes, you have some sort of questions, and then you have your notes. And then underneath that, you can right-click, and let's just insert a row below. So now we have this whole area. So I have the headers, and then I've inserted this whole row. I can stretch this down, and now it equally distributes them. But if I want to change, I can certainly do that and stretch this area even more. So it's kind of just a little movement there. All right, so now we'll go to the bottom of this one, and we'll insert one more under the, insert one more row. And notice it does an equal row to what I had before. So typically I like to do all of them in advance, but we can see and troubleshoot from here. All right, so now I have my setup rows, and notice as I expand from the top, it just makes those even bigger. So I want to make sure that I bring this area how I want it. And then once you have it set to the areas you want, you can also highlight in between and right click and then merge those cells. So now this is all under one summary. Again, all I did was right click and look at merging. And this is how you can also distribute your rows and columns equally, and so forth. So now highlight the entire table and change my font however I want it. So let's do lemon here and go to about 30. There we go. And if you need more area for the notes than the questions, do that. Let's expand this to make it almost a whole page. That'll make it a little easier for us to write. And let's put our summary up a little bit further. I think these fonts are a little bit big. Let me change that again. Control A, change it to about 14, especially if we're printing out. So we have our questions, we have our notes section, and notice I'm able to manipulate this without affecting the other ones. So now if we want to add any color to this, for instance, we can do a white background. I can just right click on the area in the back here and click on background. And so now it's white. If I had another color or some sort of shading that I wanted, that's fine too. You could put your title for the notes up here. Shading the table. So maybe in the summary I want it slightly shaded a little bit. So I can actually click on these arrows here and make some lines. And then also when I'm hovering or in the area itself, you have the fill color. And so you can choose a different fill color. So you're able to control what you have here. Just remember, when you click on the lines, you can affect line size and weight here. You can do it for the entire thing by just selecting the outside boxes, and that way all of them have the same lines. And now you have your template. It's all ready to go. If you have certain words that you want to put that they're actually dragging in, or certain questions that they have, you could use it the same technique you had before. But really, this is a simple way, and you can manipulate it any way you want. Make your notes page how you want your students to take notes. You could even have numbers here. So maybe they're supposed to have 5 questions, and they're supposed to have notes associated with it. So some people like to do like Q1, and then they have associated with kind of answer 1 or A1 here. So this way they're kind of aligned. So just depending on how you do note taking, but again, an easy way to do this. Yeah, why could you not do this in Google Docs or Slides? You could. One of the neat features about this is note taking by drawing too. So not all the time are we just going to be typing text answers. So being able to draw an object or be able to insert something that visually gives us some notes is also a good idea. And that's why the sketchnoting comes in. But I just wanted to show you an example here with text and tables so that you can set it up. All right, so that is activity 4. On to activity 5.